Good afternoon and welcome to another video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm especially going to thank the people who are watching on replay because they're the ones that are hearing this, whereas those who are joining me live probably haven't tuned in yet. So if you're watching on replay, please do the hashtag replay, no space in between. So hashtag replay, just to let me know that you did see it. If you've got questions throughout the video, feel free to ask. I don't actually see the questions until after I've finished the video. So any questions or comments, chuck them in there and I'll come back to you. For those of you who are watching live, hello, thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to show you a pocket card. Now I'm calling it a pocket card because it's a pocket, quite frankly. I've done a mixture of old and new papers. There are new papers coming out on May the 1st. So this is some old paper. It's called Sweet as Honey, and you can't actually get the paper, much of the paper anymore. And then this is the new paper, which is coming out on May the 1st. And you'll see that these two are kind of something that I keep falling back on. I love these papers, and you'll see that in the card I'm doing next Saturday, which I'll show you at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. What else? All right. The pocket card. What do we need? Let's just jump straight into it and try and keep this video to not so long. So pocket card, CS for me is cardstock. PP is pattern paper. And we've also got an insert, which you'll see is cardstock. So with the cardstock, you need 5.5 by 4 1/4. This is the size of the Close to My Heart standard card, and so I like to make all my cards to fit this size so that it fits in the envelopes. So I'm using 5.5 by 4 1/4. Feel free to adjust your recipe as you like. The next piece is 12 inches by 4 1/4 inches. So that's this one here. So 12 inches long by 4 1/4, and you score it at, now this, just if you come back to the video, you feel free to rewind whatever and take a screenshot of those, but I also put a post up, or I will be putting a post up in my Facebook group with a picture of the two cards and the instructions, so you don't have to do the whole screenshot thing. But when I say score at 5.5 and then I come down here and say 4 and 5 1/4, what I mean is you've got your 12-inch piece, and because I just don't like extending the arm on these cutting scoring machines, just make sure that's unlocked, I score it at 5.5. So that's 5.5 there, scored, and then I rotate it and I will score it at 4 and then 5 1/4. Okay, so that was, I hope that didn't come across as wrong. I did not say a swear word then. It. Okay, zip, zip. I'll use the word zip in the future. All right, so they are the cardstock that you need. That's for your base. All right, so that's for the base of your pocket card. Then you do need some pattern paper, and the pattern paper is 10 1/4 by 4 inches. It does need to be double-sided, and you'll see here, the reason for that is because you will see both sides. Now, if you have a non-directional, I was going to say non-dimensional, no, non-directional. So this, for instance, is non-directional. This is directional, but it doesn't really matter. And this is non-directional, okay? If you've got that, it doesn't matter how you cut your paper. However, if you have directional paper, so for instance, this paper has got love hearts on it, so you don't really want the love hearts going sideways. Well, you might, but I didn't want my love hearts going sideways. Then you need your pattern to be, how do I describe this? And this is why I use words rather than writing it down. You need it so that your pattern is going this way. If I wrote that in instructions, you wouldn't understand. So the 4 inches, you cut it 4 inches wide, and then the height will be 10 1/4. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so if you've got directional, you want it 10 1/4 high and 4 inches wide. All right, then you also need a little bit, so with this, it's got an insert, so you can write in it. And this is 5 inches by 3.5, which I have over here. Let me just put them out of the way. So I've got one piece that is 5 inches by 3.5, and then your little white topper. I like to do a double mat, so you've got a white topper and a backing, just so it's a bit sturdier. So this one is 4 3/4 by 3.25. So we've got everything we need. Let's get to it. Oh, the other thing you do need is just a bit of tape or ribbon or something. I'm going to be using shimmer trim. Okay, so this is just silver shimmer trim. And I did have a play around with it. I wanted to colour it, make it a different colour. Didn't want to use black because I'd used black on these. Black doesn't really go with this paper. So I did grab out my alcohol markers, but it really wasn't working. So I cut it off and I'm just going with silver, as well as a decoration. So I've got them to the side. Now, let's start. So as you saw, I have already scored, you don't need to score that one. I've already scored this. And it's really important when you're folding that you don't just go, okay, so it's scored there, scored there, scored there. I'm just going to fold on the score lines. There's often method to the madness. So I'm just going to fold this up and I'm not actually going to burnish it. So I can fold and fold and fold. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but they don't line up. And that I don't want that. I actually want them to line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this and burnish it. Then I'm going to fold this down. But I'm going to make sure that that line, so this one, lines up with the other fold. So it's just a little bit of tweaking. It just means that for some reason I didn't have it quite right on my scoring tool. Yeah, it's getting worse. I'm getting worse. I seriously can't talk and do at the same time. All right, now that's lining up a little bit better, not really. But now what I'm going to do is push this down, make sure it's straight here, give it a bit more, and then just try and push it down so that it lines up better. You really want those two to line up because this card does stand up. And I'll show you. So you send this in the mail and the person gets it and then they can stand it up like so. See, it stands up, which is what I like about it. Okay, so that is the backing for your card. So it's a W with a shorter end. So that's how you want it to look, right? Nice and burnished. Then we come to this piece. So this piece is our coloured bit, and you've got 2 score lines, which you can't really see very well, but there are 2 score lines on this. And this, you want to go on this piece here. So you can pick if you want it to go, well, I'm going to pick, just have a look and see, do I want it on the dark side? Or do I want it on the light side? Come to the dark side. I was watching Close to My Heart video. They were doing a presentation and they called it the dark side, and then they went, so this is the true colour. And I thought, yeah, it does sound better. I prefer the true colour, so I'm actually going to mount that on the true colour. I was just having a look at that. And what I want to do is make sure that when I fold this up, it folds, it's not going to fold in half, but what I do want it to do is fold so that it fits on this backing sheet with enough of a gap around it, if that makes sense. So that's better. My scoring is off at the moment, which is why I probably have stopped doing kits. Okay, so once that's done, all you want to do is fold this little bit back like so. And then you've got this gorgeous pattern. So you can see on this one, if I take that out, you've got this effect. Now, there's no, you don't use adhesive at all on this. If you did use adhesive down the sides, which you can do, you do need to make this insert a bit skinnier, but I'm not going to do that. All we do now is, once we've burnished that, we take our tape and If you've ever used shimmer trim, here you go. Here's a tip for you. If you've ever used shimmer trim, put a little bit of adhesive onto anything. I like using my Versamat because I can then rub it and it'll come off. Pop that down onto the surface, that sticks it, and then you can use something and the plastic sticks to the adhesive and I can really easily lift that off. Because if I were to sit there trying to separate those two, it's not pretty at all. And then I just do this and that's rubbed away. It's still sticky on there, and what I might even do is just fold that over so it doesn't get sticky on everything. All right, so with this bit, I actually want to go over the edge a bit. Now you can do it in the middle, you can do it down the bottom, wherever you like. I like to do it up the top. So I want it over the edge just a little bit like that. Come across, and then I'm going to use my scissors, my non-sticky scissors, like so, and cut that. Now, no one's going to see it at the back, so it doesn't matter how long or short I cut that. Flip it over, and then just stick that. If you're using ribbon, which, as I said, you can use ribbon, all you'd need to do is pop some adhesive on your ribbon and then do the same. So pop it down, flip it over, and then stick it to the back. You can use whatever you like, it really doesn't matter. But that is pretty well it for the pocket. And then we need to put some adhesive, don't shut it, Charlotte, some adhesive on the pocket, like so. I want to make sure my pocket is going to stick well to the card. And a big shout out again to Karen for showing this card to me. She is my major source of inspiration. So thank you, Karen. Okay, so there you go. But Karen only showed me that, and I then developed this little bit, which we did earlier. So you've stuck that down, awesome. And then this gets stuck down to your back. But what you need to do is only put adhesive on this piece here. All of this will stick to the back of your pocket piece. And you then need a little bit of adhesive along here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put some adhesive on here. Possibly would have been good for me to use, I'll just check the top, that's the top. Good to use the red tape actually, would be better because that way I know it's not going to come off, but that's okay. I'll just do double adhesive. I'm actually going to stick this one down first. So line it all up like so, and then that's stuck and that will stand up. And only thing left to do is just stick the white so that I've got something to write on. And you can see with these, there's a little bit of a top, so you could always put a little bit of a title. So love you, happy birthday, whatever it is you're wanting to send as a sentiment to somebody. Stick this on, I'm just eyeballing this. And that then slides in there. Now be aware that this is open, all right? It's not going to slide out, really, but that is open. So you don't really want to put something in there that is going to fall off and slide out. Only thing left to do is to decorate it. Now I did these leaves earlier. I just figured leaves, yeah. I'm going to leaves and leaves on here. I'm just going to put some adhesive on. I just think it looks a bit nicer with something on the front of the card. And I'm hoping that that's going to work. So I will put it down here like this. 1, 2, 3, because we do things in threes. And there you go. It's a pretty, that's quite nice. So then that's going to fit really nicely in my envelope. And it's just a really quick and simple thing to do. I was actually thinking, which I've just now has come to mind, the other thing you could do is we do have some dies where you can cut you put them on and they cut little slots that you can fit a gift card in. So I might even do one of those up and show you. I might even be able to take that off and show you, so you can see that as well. But there you go. A little, what do I call it? A pocket card. Pocket card. All right. Now, thank you so much to everybody who answered my poll, as if that's how you say it. I am going to start doing some more complicated cards. Now, some of my cards look complicated and they end up being really simple, but this one looks complicated and, well, it was a little bit of a struggle for me. Anyway, so it's this one, and the name is even complicated. It's called, well, I'm calling it a center column window box card. So, complicated name for a complicated card. But next Saturday, all going well, this is the one I'll be showing you. And you'll see, can you see? I kind of really like that paper. And the reason why it's called center column is because you've got columns here, if you can see that. It's got a window. Now this one's got just one bit of acetate here, but this bit is open. And I actually did it wrong, but that's okay. It's nice. It folds flat, and again, it is the same size as these. So it fits in the same sized envelope, which is really nice. So that's my first one that I'm showing you. And my second one is this one here. Again, kind of a favorite. So that's the other one that I'm going to, well, that's the other one that I've done. And again, this is new product coming out the 1st of May. So inside it says for you, and there's another love heart inside. This is a new die that's coming out, a little bit cheeky. Again, center column, and it folds flat as well. Well, I probably need to fold it that way because of all the 3D foam tape and everything. So they are what I'm demonstrating. That's the card I'll demonstrate next Saturday. You can always watch it on replay. Whenever I do a card, I always post the video to Facebook, and I'm also starting to download and upload them, Facebook, upload them to YouTube. So I will have to let you know where my YouTube channel is. The week after that, I have a card that I've been working on using this paper. So this again is another really nice paper. It's an oldie but a goodie. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you can tune in the future. As I said, feel free to make comments, ask questions, hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. And thank you so much for joining me. As always, stay safe, keep crafting, and bye for now.